Hey everybody, we are making a mini album today, and just for a reminder, you can find all of this at my blog, mickey'smind.wordpress.com, or on my Facebook, which is Mickey's Niche. So we have already done how to do the base page in video 1. So for video 2, what we're going to talk about is the decorative papers that I made. I wanted something that was fun and unique, and I love Graphic 45, but I wanted bright colors, and I kind of wanted these fun vintage images, and those don't really go together, but I wanted them to go together, so I decided to make my own, and you can do the same. So what you need for this is you can use colored cardstock, but because I really wanted these to be really bright, vibrant pages, I got white cardstock and my Dylusions paints. And, of course, you need a little foam dauber to do your paints. Then for my stamps, I used the Graphic 45, and I used two sets. These are the vintage images, and I think they go to the couture line. I've had them a while, and they don't really have names on them. I never noticed that before, but I'm pretty sure that's what these went to, the couture line. And I have the big set, and I have the little set. Okay? So the first thing you need to do is you need to get your bright colors. And to do that, all you do is take some Dylusions paint, and Diane really has lots of videos on using her Dylusions paints, but the main thing I'll tell you is it does not take a lot of paint, even for something as big as this. So I just got a little dollop of paint, all right? Work it into your sponge, and then start on the edge and do a circular motion to fill it in. Okay, and it is just that easy, and you just keep doing this until you've filled in the whole page. Now, you can, let me get a corner done here. All right, you can do it like that, and see, that's total and complete coverage. That, when it gets through, that is going to just look like red cardstock. You can do it that way, or you can leave highs and lows in it. Like that. All right? And it's just how much you're going back over the same area. That's all the difference between the two sides. So it's whichever you want to do. But literally, it is that easy. You just put some paint on your dauber and go in a circular motion. Because I've got that end looking pretty filled in, I'm going to go in and get this end looking pretty filled in by just going back over it until it's just pretty much a solid red color. Alright. And I shouldn't actually finish this whole thing, but I want to show you that that little bit of paint that I picked up will actually do this entire 8.5 by 11 sheet. So when I say it doesn't take much of this paint to do something, it really doesn't. And I really still have paint over here. So let me just kind of fill in and deepen my color in places. Alright. For time, I'm going to stop. But that's pretty much done in. There's still some highs and lows in that, but it's pretty much done. Alright. This feels dry, okay? There's no paint on my hand. but it's actually not completely dry, not underneath. So you do want to set this aside and let it dry. So for that reason, I've already done one. So let's swap to the dry one. And let's clean this mess up. And cleanup is super easy because I did this on a craft mat. And if you haven't seen my blog, this isn't actually a craft mat. I ordered this off Amazon, and it is for the big press irons like the dry cleaners use. And I think I got 2 or 3 of them for like $3. So they're super cheap, but they do the exact same thing. So I'll just throw that out there. I have I think I have a post about it. And I may even have a link to where I got it. But it's just, I just got it off Amazon. Alright, so what you want to do now is you're just going to take some black ink, and I use StazOn. The only thing is it needs to be a permanent ink. I started using StazOn right off the bat, and I like it because I can pretty much do anything with it, and it doesn't bleed, it doesn't move, it doesn't anything. I love StazOn. But I think archival ink does the same thing. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Alright, what you want to do is you just want to start stamping your images on here. And let me see if you can see them. I have got them going all different directions. That's intentional, because when you cut this down, you're only going to use small pieces of it, and you may need to turn it so that it fits whatever small piece you need to use. And so you want your paper so that whatever direction you use it, something is oriented right. Okay? And that's literally all you do. It is time consuming, but it's not something you really have to think about. So this is one of those things you can do just sitting in front of the television. Just sit in front of the TV and stamp until you have stamped your entire piece of paper. One thing I will say is you do want to have some things like going off the edges, so that when you are using the edge of your piece, the real edge, it looks just as cut as your other edges. So, you know, have one going off the page intentionally, so that when you cut the rest of them, all your edges look the same. Okay? So, this one's kind of short because really, that's all you do. Just stamp